Go. We're live, everybody. How's it going? Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and sometimes Tuesdays and Thursdays, I gotta go live, right, to interact, to get some answer some of your viewer questions, ask me questions. So there's a lot happening in the industry. I mean, things are moving like really quickly as far as clinical research is concerned. And by the way, wherever you're watching, let me know, first of all, um, where you're watching from and then what you're drinking. Okay, today I'm drinking about 50% cold brew and 50% water. So let's see. Let's get to these questions. Let me know where you're watching from, what you're drinking. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. If you don't know what to comment, put a robot emoji, put a pizza emoji, put an alien emoji, put whatever emoji you feel like putting. It helps with the algorithm tremendously, guys. Tremendously. So, a lot happening in the industry. A lot. It's easy to overlook some of this stuff, all right, because of the speed at which consolidations are happening. I mean, we forget that Icon merged this year with PRA. We forget that Thermo Fisher bought PPD. We just forget these things. But like these are huge things that happen. There's a lot of consolidation. The other day, I think LabCorp was looking at a Syneos merger. I read something on Instagram. There's guys, it's a lot happening. I think technology is going to inspire a lot of the pharma to look for cost savings, right? Because there's more trials. So when there's more trials, you kind of have to do more with less. And everybody knows, if you don't know, now you know, technology is a deflationary force traditionally. What does that mean? It means that as efficiencies increase in the technologies and the technologies themselves get cheaper, costs for everything should get less. Now, we're in the opposite right now with inflation on the horizon and supply shortages and prices of everything going up. But technology in the long run, I think, is going to be a deflationary force. We're already starting to see, right? CROs scrambling to adapt to sponsors' request. Hey, how are you going to pass these cost savings on to us? What's keeping this from fully taking over is the fact that I think 95% of sites. Somebody who knows the actual number, let me know. Something like only 95% of sites, if that, use eSource right now, right? And I think the number is about the same for e-regulatory. What does that mean? That means until that doesn't become 95% of sites that do use eSource, right? Which, by the way, this stuff happens quickly. When I got started in clinical research in 2005 full time, we were still using EDC. I think that was like the last year where it was like still being used. The very next year, 2006, I remember everything EDC. Before that, it was paper CRFs. I think the switch to eSource is more fragmented. So there's a lot of vendors, and they're not interoperable with the EDCs. So it's going to take a little longer. Not going to be that quickly. Greg James says, when Travis? Travis Mickle from KMPH. He's actually on the calendar. I just don't know when, but soon. I know my group, the Clinical Research Circle, we have a interview scheduled with him. I got to actually ask Monica. Monica, if you're watching, let me know when. Or Ashley Margot, if you're watching, let me know when. So let's go through some of these. Samia, Maryland, drinking coffee. Salute to you. Happy Friday. Hello from Ukraine, my fellow Eastern Europeans. How's it going? Neighbor to Romania. Venezuela, drinking coffee. What up, Latinos in clinical research? Pennsylvania, cranberry kombucha. Ah, when I drink kombucha, I'm more of the gingerade type. So Greg James, no problem, Greg. Happy Friday, Karitha. So everybody else, let me know where you're watching from. This technology stuff is real, but we've got time. So we've got a decade because unlike EDC, it's not going to be so easy to just flip a switch. Because why? Because now sites are going to have the option, right? And it looks like that's the way the industry is going to go. 5 years ago, maybe even a little longer now, like 6 years ago, sites were afraid that sponsors are just going to have their own eSource system and eReg system for their studies and force it on us. But it looks like that's not happening. It looks like what's happening is the sites are allowed to choose, which is good because you get some very user-friendly things like Creo that my sites use. And you could figure it out rather than learning a new platform every study you get, right? So that looks like it's going to be the way. But because it's not being forced on the site, see, EDC switch from paper CRF to EDC. That wasn't a site's choice. Sponsors just said this is the EDC. We're going to use EDC. eSource and eReg is different. They're giving the sites choice. So this is understandably going to take a lot longer. I predict it's going to take the entire decade. Hey, Christine, how's it going? El Centro, Frank Lugo? You know, I'm in Yuma right now. It's only like 45 minutes away from you. Judy, my business partner, Judy Galindo, co-founder of Latinos in Clinical Research, she has a clinic out there in Imperial. Just got off a Clubhouse room. Clubhouse still going on? The unbelievable. Led by Craig Lipset on Decentralized Trials every Friday. This is what I'm talking about, okay? The thing with Latrice, how's it going? Cary, North Carolina, drinking Death Wish coffee. That sounds intense, right? If I had some Death Wish, I might get a heart attack from that coffee. I just do regular Starbucks blonde roast cold brew with some water mix. I can't even do full. I just go crazy with it. If I do like all of this coffee, would go crazy. I had to dilute it with water. So decentralized trial. Here's the thing. Sites are having the option. Okay. I have a mini video on this coming out later today. I filmed it outside. Sites, when we give sites the option, which we are, looks like the industry is, it's going to take longer. Okay, and then there's going to be probably a few vendors at the end of this decade because there's going to be consolidation with the eSource vendors for sure. There's a lot of VC money, venture capital money going into this stuff. They're going to want exits, right? They're going to want exits. Either it's going to be acquisitions by like a metadata, or it's going to be consolidation amongst the different vendors and then going IPO or getting acquired. By 2030, we'll have like 2 or 3 eSource and eReg systems. Right now, we have like 15, I think, 10 to 15. But the majority of sites are not using those. That's the kicker, okay? Now, this fits in a little bit to decentralized trials. Decentralized trials is more from the patient perspective. What I'm talking about is more from the site perspective and the monitoring perspective. With at the same time this is happening, decentralized trials, so hybrid visits. Sometimes patients come into the site, sometimes they don't come into the site. That's going to happen. Completely decentralized trials to where there is no site, that's not going to happen in my opinion. Maybe for very few studies, and those are just going to be studies like virtual trials that are just studies that they wouldn't have done otherwise. So I'm not even worried about that stuff. Decentralized trial, just a buzzword. Well, what I'm talking about is remote monitoring, working from home, monitoring the sites remotely, CRA shortage. What's going to help the CRA shortage tremendously, I think, is technology, because what you're going to do, and you're already starting to see some CROs do this, if you talk to the right people and you ask the right questions, you're going to see CROs making strategic shifts to align their CRAs with more of a team. So like an in-house CRA, then a startup specialist, then a data manager associate. I mean, you just have like, it's no longer just the CRA. It's the CRA goes in for the interim monitoring visits. They still got to go in because investigational product accountability, for the most part, still has to be done in person, right? Especially when there's pills to count. There's really no other way unless you do it on a Zoom with the coordinator where you count the pills. And it's helpful. Sites and CRAs still prefer in-person visits. I can attest to that on both ends, as a CRA and as a site owner. I prefer in-person monitoring visits. So, but it's going to be less frequent. What it's going to be, which is actually as a site owner even better, as long as they don't bug us more often than they do with a request for documents. Because see, if everything's on ESource and eReg, all those documents can passively flow to the monitors, to the in-house CRAs, because they'll have access. So it's just a matter of a coordinator uploading the document into the eSource, eReg, whatever. So theoretically, monitoring is going to get easier. Theoretically, you won't need, because right now we need a lot more CRAs than we have. And they're just not out there. 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 Okay, we lost my image, but I'm back. I can't wait till I get my iMac. I can't wait till I get my iMac because this MacBook Air it's not working well for all this stuff. So, all right, here we go. MacBook Air cannot handle my camera. Cannot handle my camera good enough. So here's the thing, and now I get this crazy glare behind me. So as I was saying, okay, there's not enough CRAs. I don't think that's ever going to change. It's too much work to get somebody who's research naive to be a CRA at scale, like to the numbers that the industry actually needs. There's companies like my CRA Academy. We do it like 15 students a quarter, sometimes 20, but we can't do it at scale like what the industry needs. And so I don't think that's actually going to happen. I think what's going to happen is eSource and eReg, less CRAs or the same amount of CRAs we currently have. I mean, they'll just maintain this pace, maybe a few more here and there, but surrounding them with team members, support, people that never leave the home. They work from home. They don't go to an office. They don't go to a site. They work from home, but that's a team, like a 5-person team with a CRA in the middle. And the CRA is like the quarterback. So I'm going to go IMV. The other people are the support staff. Here's what you're missing at your IMV. Please collect this. Please make sure the site following up on this protocol deviation. Please make sure they're reporting to the IRB. Please follow up on this SAE follow-up form. That kind of stuff. The support team is telling the CRA what to do. That's my prediction. Of course, this is just prediction. So what does that tell you, the regular worker, right? The employee. And this, hold on, guys. I got to switch the mic, the camera. This camera is bugging me with this glare. Hold on. Let me turn this off. This is, all right. It's too bright in here. My iMac will be able to handle this camera. See, I got this Logitech. This is like a 4K camera, but my MacBook Air, it's a brand new MacBook Air, but it's not enough RAM to handle it for the live streams. So what does that mean for the regular worker, right? It means you have a decade to learn how to be a generalist. Because I think the way things are headed, and not the site level, I think the site level and the sponsor level, the two bookends of research, this doesn't apply to them as much. Still does, but not as much. It applies to the middle, to the fat CROs, the CROs that have like 80% market share of most studies. They're going to get a lot more streamlined. So if you're working at one of these companies, you're going to have less opportunity to be a generalist over time. So that means you need to take that opportunity now, because the new people coming into the industry in 2030, I think they're not going to know how to do things other than the very narrow vertical that they're hired to do. So I think the days of the generalist, as far as new people coming in, I think it's going to be a lot harder to get a generalist in 2030 than it is now. So if you're in now or you're trying to get in now, that's what you should do. Learn as many skills as possible so that when 2030 does come around and all the new people come in that are streamlined, that you're in some kind of a leadership role. And those people are going to be getting paid the most because those are problem solvers. See, people who plug in to systems, streamlined systems, here's the thing, guys, they're replaceable, right? When you get a system so streamlined to the point where it's just plug and play, that's not necessarily good for your career prospects or your salary leverage. But if you're a generalist, you've got the power because generalists are problem solvers. So when things in the system fall apart, somebody's got to fix it, and things always fall apart. So anyways, that's a little proactive warning to everybody, myself included, but I think less so for the sites and the sponsors, more so for the CROs for sure. And that's where a lot of people have been growing their careers, and there's nothing wrong with that. Keep doing it, but learn generalist skills. Christian, what's your opinion on the nomination of Robert Califf as head of FDA? My writer, we have a writer with the Clunger Research Circle. She's going to be writing about this. So I don't know much about it yet. She's going to basically do the research for me. And then I'll have more information to give my opinion. Because right now, I don't have one. I don't want to give one. I haven't been focused on that. Christine Nara, 100. See, Christine knows. So what do you guys think about this, what I just discussed? My PI, we have a meeting with an MSL, Medical Science Liaison, for my site. And my PI needs the link. So he's texting me right now. At the top of the next hour, we have a meeting. Trying to get more studies, guys. Why? Because the opportunities are there. So what is all that, like, how do you go a little bit further with this? Site level positions are going to be way more valuable because they have at least the smaller sites and smaller companies in general, they're going to be less streamlined. So here's the thing about streamlining everything, right? While companies get more efficient, the workers in those companies lose their leverage and don't learn skills that people at smaller companies may pick up. So that when those bigger companies need to hire problem solvers, the generalists are going to be there. Perla Nunez, hola. Hey, Perla, how's it going? I bet you have a lot strong opinions on this, but at the site level, and you can see this at some of the sites too, like the bigger sites. Look at the academic medical centers. Look at how they operate. They streamline. They've been doing this, right? They streamline their workforce to the point where, like, a coordinator at one of those places, you put them as a coordinator at a small mom and pop clinic, they don't know what to do. It's almost like they weren't a coordinator. I think we're going to see the same thing at the CROs, at the big CROs. So I think that's it, guys. Unless there's more questions, I got to get ready for this meeting. Might be good to shower. Happy Friday, everybody. Stay tuned for more videos. I got another stock video coming today, too. Not Questive, not KMPH. Those ones are coming. I got another one that we're doing an update on. So thank you guys so much. Have a happy Friday. Stay tuned for more of the videos. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. Is it a good thing? I think like everything, Raymond, it's about how you position yourself. It's a good thing for the companies that streamline. It's a bad thing for the people that work at those companies. Unless you become a generalist in this next decade, you have a decade to do it. Don't rest on your laurels, guys. The stuff's coming. Reach out to me anytime with any questions. I appreciate your support. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share. If you don't know what to comment, robot emoji. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye-bye.